Guys, this might be like a 5-star read for me. Now we need to figure out who killed him. There was so much wit and sarcasm in this. Hey guys, it's Caitlin. Welcome to my channel. I am so excited to finally be filming another reading vlog, and I'm so into the current book I'm reading, which is John Foss's Septology. I think 100 and I didn't put a bookmark in here. I think I'm 130 pages into this, which is crazy because I started it yesterday, maybe 2 days ago, but I'm obsessed. So this is just gonna be like a mood reading vlog. Honestly, this book is almost 700 pages, so we're probably gonna be with this for the majority of the video, but I had to pull out my camera because I wanted to talk about Septology. I first heard about this book because I love a Fitzcarraldo edition. I think that was the first English translation because John Foss is from Norway, so this was probably written in Norwegian. Could be wrong. I should really look at these things before saying them. But this takes place in Norway, and the back of the book really intrigued me. It's about this guy named Aesol, and he's a bit of a mess. Like, he's an artist, he's struggling internally a lot, and we don't necessarily like know what his problems are, or at least I don't yet. But it's very weird because we also have another character with the same name, Aesol, and they're like doppelgangers of each other. But the second Aesol is an alcoholic. So it's a bit confusing, but it's not confusing when you read it. Well, let me take that back. So yeah, this book intrigued me because it was originally a Fitzcarraldo edition. I know he won the Nobel Prize, and I read the first couple of pages and I was like, okay, I can get behind this. This is weird, deranged, also stream of consciousness, which I noticed when I picked it up, but I didn't realize it is like fully stream of consciousness. There's like hardly any breaks to it. And when I got home and I was reading more, I was like, okay, like 20 pages have gone by, there's still no break. Like, let me look in the book for a break. Guys, there isn't one. Okay, and part 1 is over 180 pages. I don't think you can see the like gray lines in here, maybe, but any like gray line is a break, and part 1 is the longest section. So I'm like, okay, 180 pages of just stream of consciousness, like let's go, let's do it. And to be honest, it's flying by. Like, when I originally saw like this stream of consciousness, I thought of Mrs. Dalloway. I think that's the most popular like stream of consciousness novel. It's not really like that. We are in Aesol's head, and it is just his rambling thoughts, like so much repetitive thoughts. Like, I kind of just want to read a little bit because it just keeps going and going and going, and it almost hypnotizes you because you're just like in this guy's head and you're like, what is wrong with him? Why do I relate to him? Where is this going? So I'm just opening to page like 21. I drive north and I see an old brown house at the side of the road, and it's falling down. I see that a few roof tiles are missing, and that's where Alice and I used to live, I think. And it seems like such a long time ago, almost in a different life. I think, and I drive past the house, and after I've driven a bit further, I see it turn off and steer into it and pull over and stop the car, and then I'm sitting in the car, just sitting, not thinking anything, not doing anything, just sitting there. Then I think, why on earth did I stop at this turnoff? I've never stopped here before, even though I've driven past it so many times. No, really, I need to get home now. I should have gone to see Aesol, but now it's too late, I think. And I keep sitting in the car, and I think that maybe I'll say a prayer, and then I think about the people who call themselves Christians and who think, or in any case used to to think that a child needs to be baptized to be saved. And it just like keeps going and going. And I can't believe like how fast paced this is. As I said, I've already read like 130 pages and all I want to do is like go back to this book. And it's just so rambly, so like I don't know, I feel very like distant from our main character even though I'm inside of his head, because I don't know why he's like this. And we get little bits and pieces thrown in, and it's so interesting because like he'll just be like so disassociated from real life, where it's like he'll see a couple at the park, but it's literally a past version of him. And I don't know if it's his ex-wife or his ex-girlfriend. And then we'll like jump kind of point of views to the other Asol and how he's an alcoholic and how he's shaking. And it's just like, it's so interesting. I've literally never read anything like this, and it's so easy to read. It's just so great. It's so addictive. It's so hypnotizing, and I want to get back to it. And I'm so pleased that I feel this way. Let's hope I feel this way in another like 130 pages or 300 pages. But I'm loving John Foss's Septology. I'm gonna get changed really quickly because it's like 85 degrees out and I'm in a sweat set. And then we're gonna go and read outside. Okay guys, so last night I finished the first two parts of Septology. I finished The Other Name, and I am still just so obsessed with this. I also found out that I was completely butchering our main character's name. I don't know how I was pronouncing it. I think I was pronouncing it Azul. It's pronounced Osla. Ajla. Closer to that. I'm still not pronouncing it right. I love how weird this is. I love how our perspectives are constantly changing between our main Asla and our secondary Asla. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just scratching my brain in a way that I've really wanted. It got really dark at the end of part 2, so make sure to look up trigger warnings if you're thinking of reading this. But I really like how it's going. I don't have like a ton else to report. I feel like we're just going through Asla's life and how he's interacting with like the other Asla, and he also has this friend named Oslik. Oshlik? Guys, I can't. I can't with the names. But he has this friend who's coming over, and it's really just like a progression of Asla's life. We're starting to get more about why he's so like just like withdrawn from society, from literally like everything in life. It's like life is right over here and he's like 2 steps back from it. So we're starting to understand why he is so like distanced from everything. I'm still interested in like getting to learn more about him and the other Asla, which I think I will find out more about it in I Is Another. I was trying to read some reviews, but I didn't want to look at spoilers. And I think in I Is Another is when they meet in like childhood. So I'm excited to hear more about their backstory, because I don't understand why our main Asla is like having memories or like seeing the past of the other Asla. Like, I don't know how that ties together, but I really do like when we jump into the past, whether it's with our main Asla and his wife, or going into like that secondary Asla and seeing him with like his sister. So I'm really enjoying this. I'm loving it a lot more than I thought I would, which is super exciting. I am gonna start I Is Another. I'm gonna go outside and read today. I don't know if you could tell. You definitely can't tell, but I actually have a little bit of a tan and I want to continue working on it. So I'm gonna go outside read and see how far I can get in I Is Another, but guys, this might be like a 5-star read for me, which is all I want. Truly all I want. Good morning, guys. It's been over a week, I think, since we last spoke. I'm so close to being done with septology. I'm within the last 70, 60 pages, and I have no idea how this thing is gonna end. And I keep playing the song How Did It End in my mind by Taylor Swift. It's like just stuck in there as I read through this. I didn't talk too much about book 2 or even book 3 as I've been reading it, because not that the story is repetitive in content, although like it is, we're still on the same sentence. We're still going through Ozla's thoughts, but we're getting more of a view into the past. So in book 2, we get to see Ozla meet his doppelganger, or his namesake Ozla. We also get to see him meet Alice, and I feel like as the books and the sections go on, the time that we're spent in actual reality is like shrinking, and the time we're spending in the past is growing. Book 3 has been more about Alice and the medium blonde hair woman whose name is Guru. And the Guru thing confuses me because it seems like there's 2 of them, and I thought the only like doppelganger within this story was Ozla. I think I was also getting some of Ozla's backstory confused with the other Ozla, because the way our main Ozla was referencing himself, or the other Ozla, is in third person. So I kind of need to like do some internet digging as well and see like what's part of his life, what's part of the doppelganger's life. But I do want to finish this today. I truly don't know how it's going to end, because Ozla is supposed to go to a Christmas Eve dinner at his friend's sister's house. And the friend's sister is named Guru. She's one of the gurus that Ozla has had a past or a history with. Also, I have a cat where I am currently. So if you hear noises, I don't know if you could hear that. So if you hear noises, it's the cat. But yeah, I wanted to come on and give that update. I'm still really enjoying this. I feel like the ending will make or break the 5-star. I have 2 more wild, dramatic predictions, but this book is really not like dramatic. Like, yes, a lot has happened, but it's very quiet. So I don't know if a wild ending is like for this book. And I'm also wondering if on the last page this sentence will finally end, because ever since the first page of the first book, this has been one sentence. And like, yes, there are exclamation points and there's question marks when like people are speaking, but the way the following words continue is in lowercase. It's like a continuous stream. So yeah, I'm curious if there's actually going to be a period at the end of this book. So yeah, let's finish septology. I hope this I hope this angle is okay as I'm sitting here looking crazy, but I'm happy to report that I finished septology. I finished this last night, and I don't know how I feel about it. This is a book where I think you just need to take it for as it is, and instead of maybe try to analyze it and parse through so much, I feel like it's a book where you take what you need from it and you just appreciate it for what it is. Before I started filming, I was kind of thinking about, what I was going to say to you all about this book. And I'm kind of having a hard time because there's really no plot to it. As I've mentioned, this is full stream of consciousness. We are in our main character's mind, Osla, the entire time. Also, this is so dusty. To any of my girlies out there who live or cohabitates with a man, just know I feel for you. This is disgusting. Anyway, something I really liked about this book, especially in the third part, is how often we go from Osla's reality to the past. I love how John Foss so seamlessly makes those transitions. And there is a portion in the third book where Osla is pretty much half asleep or kind of in this dream state, and he keeps switching between the past and the present so fast. I loved it. But a lot of Osla's thoughts are about love and love lost. His wife Alice passed away, and finally in the last book we don't actually find out what happens to Alice, not to spoil it for you, but we do get a remembrance of Osla with Alice as she draws her last breath in the hospital. We get a lot of love lost, grief, a lot of commentation on alcoholism and sobriety. The other Osla, the namesake, he is an alcoholic, and Osla, our main character, he used to be an alcoholic, but he's recovered. His wife Alice helped him to become sober. So we listen to a lot of thoughts about that. And I can't forget how much Catholicism and God are talked about in this book. There are a lot of passages that I really, really enjoy in here. One that particularly stands out to me is how God reveals himself to us, and Osla believes God reveals himself most in his own concealment or his hiddenness and in silence. That is where we get to know him, and that is where we can feel his presence the most. And that is something that I agree with, but I've never really thought about it or put it into words. So I loved that passage. He also talks a little bit about suffering in Catholicism, which is very reminiscent of Dostoevsky, so I have to call that out, shout that out. But yeah, this was a behemoth of a book, but the way it's written, it flies by. It's very mesmerizing and hypnotic. I think if this at all sounds interesting to you, you should give it a go. I gave this 4 stars, might give it 5 stars if I continue to think about it, but I really did enjoy the time I spent with this. This is definitely a winter read though. There's a lot of snow, a lot of ice. Yeah, if this sounds interesting to you, if any of the themes sound interesting to you, I would definitely give it a go. And I honestly don't feel like you need to read all 3 books or read them all immediately after. You could take your time with this series if you want to. Last thing that I wanted to call out before I end this clip is I started looking into some interviews with John Foss because he did win the Nobel Prize for Literature. I don't know if he won a Booker Prize, but he was definitely nominated, and he seems very much like Osla, our main character, and it seems like he has drawn a lot from his own life and that he put into that character. So I thought that was very interesting to find out after finishing this book. So yeah, that is my review of Septology. And now I think we can decide our next book. Hey guys, so I'm back home. It's been a couple of days since I filmed the last clip about finishing Septology. I have started something new. I'm actually 35% of the way through A Morbid Taste for Bones by Ellis Peters. This is part of the Brother Cadfael series, and I for the life of me, like, can't remember where I came across this book because it's not something that would probably ever come my way. It is a book series, it's a murder mystery series, and it follows Brother Cadfael. He is a monk in a monastery. I can't remember what century this takes place in. Part of me thinks it's the 12th or 13th century. Could be wrong, but it is like a long time ago. Yeah, I can't remember where I found this. I don't know if I saw it on like a Reddit recommendation or on Twitter, or if I just came across it on Goodreads because I had it on my Goodreads want to read. So I found it somewhere, but it seemed just very different from what I normally read. And since I've gotten out of a reading slump and just read a giant, kind of depressing and bleak story with septology, I wanted something light, I wanted something fun, and I felt like this would be a good fit. I don't know if I love it though. I saw some reviews on Goodreads saying like the second book is a lot better and like you kind of just need to get into the series. This book is only 200-ish pages, so I am liking it enough to continue. So we're following Brother Cadfael and all the monks in his monastery, but Cadfael is our main character, our main protagonist. Basically where this story starts is one of the brothers passes out and is like seizing. He falls sick very quickly, very violently, and one of the brothers has a vision that this saint in Wales, Saint Winifred, going to like her waters will heal the sick brother. So they set off on a journey, and when they come back, the sick brother is healed. So now the whole monastery wants to go to Wales and bring Saint Winifred's remains back to England, I guess, since it was like a miracle in their eyes. So everyone is now in Wales, and the Welsh don't love this group. They don't want to give Saint Winifred's remains to them to take away. Their argument is that Saint Winifred is here, has been here since she passed. When she was alive, she never wanted to leave. Like, this is her resting place. Leave her alone, leave her be. And the main like prior, he's saying, well, the state approved it, the bishop approved it, and we had this vision to bring Saint Winifred back to where we are, so we're gonna do that. And it's not going over well. So the prior is arguing with, I don't know if he's the prince or the king or just the ruler there, but they're fighting, and then turns out our Welsh prince king ruler guy turns up dead. So now we need to figure out who killed him. I actually don't know who the cause of this was. I have some thoughts. Part of me thinks it's his daughter because she wanted to marry a foreigner and he wasn't having it. Part of me thinks it could be the guy she wanted to marry. So part of me thinks it might be one of them or both of them. I think that would be like a good plot twist in the end. I also think it could be two of the brothers, Brother Columbanus, and I think the other one is Brother Jerome. I'm honestly so bad with the names in here. I don't know why. I feel like I can't remember any of their names or who's who. These two brothers, one is the one who got sick, and then the other one is the brother who helped the sick brother get to Wales the first time. So I think they could be in on it too. But yeah, I'm not really sure how this is gonna go. I have about 120 pages left, so I'm excited to continue it, see where it goes. As of right now, I don't love it, but like I am interested enough to see how it ends to keep going, if that makes sense. I'll see you guys when I have another update. Hey guys, it is, I think, about like 10 p.m. and I'm about to finish A Morbid Taste for Bones. Is that what it's called? Why can't I? Okay, I can't remember the title of this book, and I'm finally beginning to remember everyone's name as like the book is ending. I don't know what's wrong with my brain right now, but I have about 30 pages left and I'm gonna finish this tonight. I'm really getting into the story. I don't know who the murderer is. I have some thoughts, but I have two chapters left, so I'm gonna find out soon. But yeah, I'm just really into it, and I'll give more of an update probably tomorrow once I'm done with this and once I've let it like sit in my brain for a couple hours. So yeah, let's finish this. Hey guys, it is the next day and a lot has actually happened since last night, so I need to give you all my full review of A Morbid Taste for Bones. A Morbid Taste for Bones, and then I actually started and finished an entire other book today. Like, I completely binged it. But let's start with A Morbid Taste for Bones, Brother Cadfael. I finished this last night and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 3 stars, maybe 2.5. And the reason I say that is because, like, I've read so many wonderful books. Like, obviously Crime and Punishment is 5 stars. 3 stars is not that far away from 5 stars. And like, this book does not measure up to, you know, Crime and Punishment, Anna Karenina. So even though I'm kind of like giving it a lower ranking, I still really enjoyed it. It's just, you know, something I read for entertainment, for fun. It's not something that is like life-changing, but I really enjoyed it. I will say I predicted who the murderer was, and if anything, I wish the author chose someone else as the murderer because I feel like it's pretty easy to predict. And I honestly thought that the author would pick someone else because it was easy to predict who this murderer was. With that said though, there were 2 other twists. Sorry if you hear my fridge. I don't know if you could hear that. It's my ice maker. There were 2 other twists in this book that I didn't expect and that I really enjoyed. So I am going to continue this series at some point. I really enjoyed Brother Cadfael's character. I also enjoyed Brother John. I think there was so much wit and sarcasm in this book. Like, Brother John was jailed and then he like fled to marry this girl from the Welsh town. I think it's called Winifred. Again, I don't know why I can't remember anything. Yeah, like, it was just such a funny like part of the story. I also really liked one of the main female characters. I think her name is Shawned with the Welsh. I think it's Shawned. But I really liked her. She was such a strong female character, and I loved how she was impersonating Saint Winifred towards the end of the book. Like, I had the best time reading that. So if you're someone who just wants like a fun book, an entertaining book that's not too long and that is set in like the medieval times or like the Middle Ages and also enjoys Catholicism and murder mystery, I think this book would be like right up your alley. I'm actually really excited to continue the series and read the second one. So yeah, that is A Morbid Taste for Bones. Let's get on to the book that I read and binged today. It is The Stone Door by Leonora Carrington. I really wanted to pick up something on my bookshelf, on my physical TBR, because I feel like I keep buying books or reading books on my Kobo and not actually reading the books that are on my bookshelf. This one stood out to me because it is a New York review book and I love these weird little books. And it's also really short. It was 110 pages, which was why I was able to finish it all in one day. Part of me is like happy I binged it because I was just like enjoying the story so much. But there is so much like symbolism and mythology in this book that I did not look into, didn't like really think about or want to analyze, because I was just enjoying reading the book. And like, I don't know, I kind of feel a bit of guilt on almost rushing through this book because, like, as someone who wants to like give a book review, I feel like I'm doing an injustice by only giving like a surface level review. But at the same time, like, I was just so absorbed in the story that like I didn't want to stop every time there was a reference that I didn't understand, or like some weird ancient god name, Aztec, Greek, Rome, like I don't even know. I just didn't want to like keep stopping the story to like look everything up. So I kind of feel a bit bad. I just got out of a book slump. I'm trying to enjoy my reading, so I hope you can understand. So the stone door for me is kind of hard to describe, and I didn't really even understand it was a love story until I was further into this book, but it is. One of our main characters is Zachariah. We meet him like earlier in the book, and he's called, I think, the White Child. He formed from like an egg, which is a whole other story. This book is like very weird and surreal, and nothing like makes sense. Like, don't try to make any logical sense or like see this in our reality at all, because it's just not gonna work. You need to take it for what it is. But it is a love story between Zachariah, and I don't really know who the other woman is. We do kind of meet her earlier in the book as well. And we are with this witch who, I don't know if she makes dolls or fixes dolls, but she has these two dolls who are like possessed by women, and one of the dolls is the woman that Zachariah is trying to find, and she is behind the stone door. So the stone door separates Hungary and Mesopotamia, and on the Mesopotamian side, that's where all the dead are. So I will spoil it because I don't think it's a spoiler. Zachariah and the doll live happily ever after. He does break through the stone door. I feel like it wasn't like that significant in the story. Like, what I really enjoyed from the story was just like the overall vibe and how it was written. It was superbly written. Some of the things I would read and my mouth would just be like agape, like, oh my gosh. Like, there are incredible lines about loneliness and love, and even just like the imagination that went into it, insane. But this is very mythical, surreal. I think this would be perfect to read around Halloween, to be honest. Like, there's witches, dragons, blood oaths with goats, there are eggs come alive. What else is there? There's giants, there's kings. Like, it's just a very mythical journey, and for me, like, I couldn't stop reading it. Like, I was just so obsessed with this from the jump, and I binged it in one day. And like, it is only 110 pages, but like, I haven't binged a book like this since I don't even remember. Like, I haven't binged a book in so long. So like, this was such a pleasant surprise for me. I also think this is a book that you can really take your time with and analyze. There's so much like depth in here if you want to analyze it and if you want to go further in. Personally, I didn't, because as I said, I was just enjoying binging this book. I'm so interested in what like other people will get out of this, because I just had a fun time. I had a fun time, and I love just reading really well-written books, and this is one of them. So with that being said, this is the end of my mood reading video. I feel like the septology part of this video is probably so long, and then A Morbid Taste for Bones and The Stone Door are so short. So I am sorry about that. I did mean to put like some more into this video. It just, I don't know, these other two books went by so fast, I didn't anticipate it. But let me know if you've read any of these books. I think it's such like a weird assortment of books, or if me reading them makes you guys want to add them to your TBR or pick them up. Like, I would love to know that. But thank you all for watching. If you made it to this point, I really appreciate it. That's it for today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.